Hi everybody, I am at a train station near the border of Poland and Ukraine. We are not literally at the border, we're a couple miles inland, but I wanted to give you a sense of kind of what life is like at the border these days. You have pretty much everything here. First of all, you have a police presence because, as I understand it, there are some unregistered Russians who have been causing some problems. You have people in the volunteer vests, the neon vests. Those are volunteers. I have one of those. It's in my backpack right over there. I did not wear it very much since I was Ben the Bunny, the mascot of Medica. But you have that. So you got a lot of people whose lives are in chaos here. Some are coming, some are going. You've got relatives coming in. The border crossing situation is perpetually a disaster, and Hannah has me booked on a bus. And I feel like she knows best probably. I've got some intel here locally that the train is the better way to go to cross the border tonight. Probably varies from time to time. I'll probably just go with what Hannah has, and the bus station is right on the other side of the tracks over there. These people over my shoulder are refugees. You see the children. It always, it just gets me, man. I think it gets just about anybody. More than one in two refugees are children, and you can just imagine your life being upended like that and seeing some of the things that you see. I'm leaving in about an hour to go over there, and whereas I have not been deep into Ukraine yet, quite a few volunteers have. It's not a tragically unsafe situation. It is more a situation where there's definitely a risk. What can you do? If you get hit by a missile, you get hit by a missile. That sounds a little bit crazy, but there's not a high probability of it. But if you're in the wrong place in the wrong time, that's kind of the attitude that the Ukrainians have adopted, for better or worse. They have to counterbalance continuing to live their lives and maintain their homes and their employment and all of that, against the risk of being hit by a cruise missile. It's not easy to come across the border here to Poland or anywhere else and start a new life. It's very, very difficult, and so there's that counterbalancing. And you talk to different refugees, and they counterbalance it different ways depending on their kind of appetite for risk and their specific circumstances that affect that. So, but you've got everything here tonight. You've got the reception point over my shoulder there, the red banner. Basically anything near the border these days, you're going to have a lot of directions. There's directions all over the place. Right here, basic medical assistance. You've got the humanitarian effort that's everywhere. And I think what people need to understand is the humanitarian effort is us. The way that this war came about is almost it is unprecedented. It'll never happen again. And the bottom line is this: the people that normally handle this stuff aren't. The Red Crosses, the UNICEFs. Do you see them around here? Do you see a single thing? No. What do you see? You see makeshift patchwork quilt of volunteers. I saw my friend Ivan here, who I served with in Medica, and he's from Russia. And as you know, a lot of Russians are fervently against the war. It's a good idea to get out of there, though, if you're going to be outspoken about that. But it was really great to see Ivan. And there's the volunteer kind of station, over my shoulder. There's just a lot of humanity, and it's perfectly symbolic of life in chaos. This is just total chaos. You see people just kind of, sitting on benches down that hallway, and, they're typically head in their hands and trying to process a life in transit, a life in transition. It's difficult for me. I haven't been deep into Ukraine before. I have, gone across a few miles in last time for various reasons. Some just to be in Ukraine. You feel a kinship with the place. You'd like to be on the soil. But there was kind of tactical, logistical reasons for that as well. But my heart gets very heavy. It gets very heavy It's difficult to see all this, but it's very difficult, to engage these people, and it's just traumatic. They do the best they can, and they have to continue functioning. They have to find a place to sleep. They have to find a place to live. They have to care for their families. Their kid right there has to sleep somewhere tonight. She's going to be on an overnight train to Kiev. These are people going back. My heart gets heavy because, it's just very difficult to see humanity in this condition. All of these people are sob stories, the likes of which would put anything that we have really on our plate today to shame. And obviously that changes one's perspective. It certainly changed mine. If I had $1 for every person that I talked to who's come back again, and we've huddled up, a couple of people I didn't know, but they were former volunteers, and we were at a cafe earlier tonight, and if I had $1 for every person that says, I went back a changed man, I'd be a rich man. How can it not change you? So it is humanity in chaos. You have the good, the bad, the ugly, but you have the good, and you just focus on seeing the good. My heart's heavy because I know what I'm going to see. I've seen it a couple times now, and it affects me. I haven't fully processed, I think, everything that I saw and that I dealt with when I was in the refugee camps. And it's not, sort of warfare like trauma. I didn't see any blood and guts. I did see a lot of, serious medical circumstances. But it is more the emotional and psychological effect, the trauma that is imposed upon these people of living in fear, living in chaos, having their families torn apart, the emotional component of it, and being the mascot of Medica and the first person to greet these people. A lot of times they collapsed physically, emotionally, spiritually into me. And I very much felt a strong obligation to be the best I could be there, and to represent humanity, as silly as that sounds, in the best possible way. To show these people that we loved them, we cared about them, and all of that. I found out rather quickly, astonishingly, not even close, what do these people need? What do people need? Food, clothing, water, yes. Shelter. It's cold outside, it's not anymore. But what they need more than that, more than anything, is to see that people care about them. And that's true of all of us. It's part of the human condition. We just want people to care. And I just wanted to do my best to show that I cared. And I'm trying to do that now. And I'm trying to do that with Hannah, who is an extraordinary story and just an incredible human being. So it's time for me to rock and roll and get where I need to be. And I miss you and love you back home. Keep all these people in your prayers. Make a special effort today, if you would, to be grateful for what you have. I certainly am. And let's remember, shall we, that we're all in this together, and there are so many differences between all of the people in this room right here. But they are all human beings, as are we. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. So let's go do some good, huh? It only takes one person to change a life. Whose life are you going to change today? So say, Slava Ukraini.